Okay, well, I'm struggling to get into an environment where it's exceptionally noisy, so what I've decided to do is just run some music on my computer here, and you can possibly hear, there's a little bit of a fan going off, the cooling fan off the back of the computer, but just run a bit of light music. It's not going to be heavy, and just to see whether the noise cancellation when I play it makes any difference. So at the moment there's no noise cancellation whatsoever, and I'm just trying to find the bit of music I had. Okay, I think this. So I'll run this. It's about a minute long, and during the playing of the music, I'll turn on the noise reduction and see what it makes. I've also got the dead cat or the wind protector on, which I'm sure my beard at the moment is doing an equally good job without this thing, but we'll run it by a fan as well. That's another good idea. Let's run it by a fan and see with the dead cat on and without, and see what difference that makes. But I'm sure it'll work fine with the dead cat on, and you'll hear a lot of noise without it. Anyway, let's go to the music and play it. So here we go. Okay, so that's the music. So if you was in a nightclub, takes me back to my youth. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the sound deadening now, or the sound reduction should I say, and you'll see the blue light come on. So let's wait till the music gets going again. Okay, and here we go then. So I'm just going to apply that. Okay, so you can see by the flashing blue light now, it's got the noise reduction on. So I'll be curious to see what kind of difference that makes. And obviously that's where it would be again if I put it back to where it belonged. Like I say, I've got two dead cats. I've got my beard and the actual thing on the mic. And let's just take it off before the music finishes. And we're back to the normal environment of what you would hear if I was just standing around in a nightclub with a mic, as though you would. I'm going, baby. Forget the review, let's dance. And I don't smoke, but let's have some weed. Good enough for Paul McCartney, good enough for me. Only joking. Right, so that's it really. Let's stop this music. Yeah, so this is it with the windsocky, dead catty, wind protection mic beard, I think I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a mic beard. That's what it's going to have. Because it looks very similar, look. It could be hidden in there, couldn't it, look? Could be hidden in there, my mic beard. Okay. Oh shit, it's stuck. No, it's not, only joking. Velcro. It's a sticky thing. Right, let's try it against a fan. So I'm going to go and get a fan and we'll try that. Wait there. Actually, before I go and get the fan, I've just had an idea. I'm going to go downstairs to where the fan is to bring it back up here. I'm going to leave the mic connected and see whether you can still hear me going through this house. So there's about 5 bedrooms in this house. I'm going downstairs and they're all solid sort of brick walls, most of them, although this is a partition stud wall, which is plasterboard. And somebody's calling me on the phone. Right, sorry, my daughter just called me. I'm going to go downstairs now and we're going to test it. Right, so hopefully it's recording because I turned it off while I was speaking to my daughter, but we're off downstairs now. I'll be back in 5. So here we go. I've probably lost the signal as soon as I go through this door because this is a fire door. Hello, this is a big fire door. Okay, so we're going downstairs now. Yes, we're going downstairs, and there's a big staircase in between us now, so we should have no signal whatsoever. And now I'm completely downstairs, and now I'm in the dining room, what we call here in the dining room. The dining room, very good. Now I'm coming back upstairs, so I'm not so sure whether you can hear me, but I'm coming back upstairs. So that was a little test of the range indoors. Not as you'd necessarily want to do that. And I'm back with a fan. So let's test. Let's plug this in and test it. Now, okay, so let's test this. So I'm going to hold this. It's my biggest fan. She goes with me everywhere. I love it a bit. Anyway. It's got the dead cat on. Sorry, I'm working on my fixed camera today, so it's got the windsock dead cat, whatever you want to call it, wind muffler on. So I will start with number one, and I will talk all the time this is blowing in. So there you go. So let's just hold it still. So there you go. It's hitting onto me, and if I talk into it, I will sound like a Dalek. I'm not so sure those people in America that may be watching understand what Daleks are. Here in the UK we have a thing called Doctor Who, and they had Daleks. Google it somewhere or YouTube it, it'll be on. I am a Dalek, exterminate, exterminate. Anyway, enough stupid behaviour from a very old man. Right, so that's number one. And that's number three. And this fan is blowing me away, she's so good. And that, look at that, right on there. And I'm talking. So that's what it would be like to cross. Hey, look at the damage it's causing to my hair, Jesus. Anyway, so there you go. So that's now, whilst the fan's running, I'm going to take off the windsock. Oh, there you go. And we'll give it another run. And it's on the maximum at the moment, it's on number 2. So again, we're going to talk straight into the fan, and we'll go sideways again. And this is how it's not a very scientific test this, but it's good enough, isn't it? I'm going to drop it down to number 1. So, you know, if you're out and about, I'm guessing that's how it would sound. You've got some wind, you've got the noise of the motor of the fan also. So, is it a real representation of what it's like on a gusty day? Probably not, but you know, it gives an idea anyway, doesn't it, about what that, what this this little windsock dead cat, well, I don't know, Beard, Mike Beard. Okay, so they've got quite a positive, when you align them up, they have a very positive feel to them. There you go. They click on very well and very secure. It's not something you just push over, it actually goes in and locks into place. So that's it, it's back on. Very good. And like I said earlier, this second generation, let's turn this off. This second generation I really like, because although I've never had the first generation, what I've saw in the reviews of other people, this little bit here on the top is it may be soft like this, I don't know, but it looked more wiry and plasticky. As well, this actually feels very soft. It feels like real fur, and I hope it's not, because fur is meant for animals, not for us. But it does feel like fur. Hopefully, it's just synthetic fur. And like I say, it's got a really nice colour about it, because the other one was completely black, jet black, and I don't know, it just sticks out black. So if you're wearing a white t-shirt, I know the actual transmitting unit is black as well, and that may sound very counterintuitive to say, you know, that black and black, and it's gonna stand out more. But I just think people acknowledge this as being the mic, and then when you see the windsock on the top, or the mic beard, I keep forgetting to call this, then I don't know, it's just something about the colour of it. Mic beard. So anyway, this is the Fulaim X5, and I really like it. Now, I did say I'll tell you why I purchased this over the if I can get them out, over the other microphones I had, which are the Q-Hot mics, these little ones. So there's a couple of reasons. The first one, I think the sound is marginally better from this than that, and it is negligible, you can't really tell. Secondly, the battery life in this is a lot better than this. Thirdly, obviously this has got a carry case and it charges this unit whilst you put it back away while you're moving from one location to another. This, yes, you could put a USB charger, a USB-C charger in on a power pack, and I don't know. I just worry that it'd be so fragile it might snap or break something in there. And lastly, and this is the most important reason why I've got it, is that I haven't done a range test, by the way, on either of these, so I don't know how far or which one would be better transmitting. I'm guessing this one may have the greater range. I really don't know. Sometimes looks can be deceiving, but they both operate on the same frequency, so I'm guessing they'd give about the same sort of performance. But going back to the reason I really bought them, this one's kind of got a built-in fail-safe mechanism of record. So although it's transmitting to the camera, you can have it just on this mode where it transmits to the record capability of the camera, or you can have it so it also records as well to this unit here, what I'm holding in my hand, because this has got 4 gigabytes of onboard storage, which it can store locally. As I'm recording, it will store locally on there. So regardless of where I am filming, and the surround, I mean, maybe the fact that there's an awful lot of wire signal interference from other wireless devices, and that will, on playback, it will be cackly and broken up on the camera. Obviously locally you'll have none of that. It will be solid, and it records, I'm not too sure, I'll have to look on the instructions, but I think it records at 6 dB lower as well. I may be wrong on that, we'll have to check on that, but as a fail-safe. But it's a backup anyway, and how you get to that, by the way, is through the main unit, and I'm not so sure I can do this whilst I've got you all in shot. But on the which we haven't looked at really, whoops, it used to work, on the receiving units here, sorry, let me just put this back on me, otherwise I'm getting loose. On the receiving units here, you can see, and I'm not too sure how well you can see, it's to be honest, like I say, we haven't spoken about it, it's quite a bright LCD screen. Some people say you can't see it very well in direct sunlight, and that may be true, I'm not too sure, but I quite like the look of it. And as you can see as I'm speaking, you've got the sound on the transmitter. I think this is the right transmitter that I'm operating on now, and it's in mono, and you can see at the bottom the signal strength there, and it says mono there. Now I haven't looked at the instructions because I'm a typical man, so I'm going to have to do this on the fly. Right, I think this is the button, so let's push this. Let's push anything. Okay, so this, right, so there's a yellow button here, and it's, you may have already noticed, it's increasing the decibels. Can you see this? It's going up, so my voice would probably got stronger as I'm talking to you. Press again. He says confidently, there you go. It's gone down again. I think it's this side, I'm getting confused. There you go, look, you can see the decibels going up. So I'm quite loud at the moment, very loud, and click it, and it's gone back down to 1 here, just in the bottom there. It's so I should be quite low, and I'm figuring around about this number 2 to number 3. So there you go. Let's give it a little test. 5 4 3 2 1 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. And then 5 4 3 2 1 3 2 3 2 3 2 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 and go back up the scale again to that, which and again, like I say, this microphone is not moving, my head is not moving, we are the same distance away, and then we go back down to 1 again. But like I say, I said the ideal decibel noise would be between 2 and 3, and so I'm at 2, but I think I'm going to stick it at number 3, and I hope this is in focus, because I can't see anything, my eyes have gone like the rest of my bloody body. So so anyway, that's part of this right now. It does actually say on the bottom, stupid, I can't see, it's got dB, decibels there, so you can clearly see. And then this other yellow button is an on-off button, but I'm figuring that if you click it, you may get some adjustment to this mono, and it should go to stereo. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, let me look. Maybe if you have to hold it. Okay, I turned the unit off, so you lost all sound there. So maybe you can only do it when it's not recording. Maybe you can't do it whilst it's recording. I have no idea. Oh no, I just looked, it's actually gone to stereo. So the decibel button, this yellow one here, I should have read the instructions before I did this. So this decibel button here, if you hold it, you'll see now, it's awful, it's recording, it's gone to stereo. And then the next one, if you hold it again, there you go. Now that has gone to MS. Now that is the safety track feature, and I think that's the one that records 6 decibels lower. So this will record locally. Do you know what? I don't even know what I'm talking about, because I'm a typical man and I haven't read any of the instructions. So what kind of a review is this really? Come on. It may automatically record to the local unit for all I know. If you get one of these, just read the instructions. I'm just giving you an example and a test of what it sounds like, that's all. So yeah, that is the unit. And by the way, if you, while we're looking at this transmitter unit, I've got the box here. If I pull the other transmitter out, you'll see that it should connect straight away. He says confidently, yes it does. See, you've got the green bars at the top, like the green Wi-Fi bars. So you don't have to do anything, just literally put it out of the box and it connects. And I'm going to put it back away and shut the lid, and it goes. Look at that, it turns off. So somebody come up with a good idea to say that if you are using these on an interview situation, that you label one R and the other left, so you know the channels for when you do post-production, that you can clip one on one, you know where the left and the right is basically, and it makes it much easier for interview purposes. So the only thing that remains, it's getting late at night, so I'll possibly do this in the morning. The only thing that remains is a range test of some description. Like I say, I've given it one sort of in the house, but that's not really a very good range test, is it? So I'm going to do another range test outside, because this mic is very line of sight. If you get anything in between, even my body, look, if I spin round, of course it's not going to make a difference. How does my hair look, by the way? It's not going to make a difference at this sort of distance, but when you sort of get up to about 5, 6, 8 meters and you turn around, believe you me, there's just not enough punching power in this thing to penetrate my body and get to this little tiny receiver. So it'll start to break up. And I know that from experience with gadgets, electronics. Like I say, I'm a licensed ham radio here in the UK, so I dabble around with radios and things like that. I understand a little bit of the physics of radio waves and propagation and all that kind of nonsense. So, not propagation, by the way, has got anything to do with the fact whether this transmits through my body. It's more to do with the penetration of it. But anyway, we will see how it goes tomorrow. Like I say, it's getting late tonight, so I'm going to do it now. But tomorrow we'll give it a decent range test. Anything over or up to 100 meters, should I say, is in straight line of sight is good enough. If you need anything further than that to transmit with absolute quality and assurance, then you need to go or be looking at professional level equipment. I can't see why anyone in the prosumer or consumer market would want a wireless mic that does 1/4 of a mile or something wirelessly. It's pointless. You can't even see yourself on the camera, even with a, I've got a 50 times zoom on this camera, and you'd still be a bit of a pinprick at 1/4 of a mile. So it's just pointless. I don't see the relevance of it, and even if you did, you'd use it for about 30 seconds and that would be it. But it's just pointless. So what I'm advocating these for is really the fact that it isolates the background noise and focuses on you, the person. So if you're vlogging, blogging, out and about, filming generally, interviewing people, it's bringing the attention to the subjects rather than the ambient noise around you, because it would be nothing worse than noise going on in the background, and it just blends into this horrible mess. It's a bit like the bokeh effect on photography, you know, when you're pulling that sharp focus of your subject. If your subject is sharp and the background is blur, your attention is on the subject, and I think that's what this kind of microphone does for the audio, your voice. So anyway, tomorrow is another day, as it goes in the film, and we'll give it a go. We'll give it a range test, and we'll play with a few other little bits and pieces. I've got a radio mic as well, which I've had for probably about 2-3 years, maybe a bit longer. And I mentioned earlier, it operates on about the 640, 650 megahertz range. We'll give that a go as well, just to see what the how they compare to each other sound-wise. I have noticed, and I'll tell you this now, spoiler alert, that the wireless microphone, because it was a cheapy one, it was about £20-30 here in the UK, so it's probably about $40 or something in the States. They're not brilliant. They have a bit more punch in terms of pushing through things, generally speaking, but there's a hiss on the audio, on the channel levels, and I'm sure that could be removed, by the way, post-production. I'm absolutely certain you can, but it's just something to be aware of. But we'll run a test tomorrow anyway and see whether we get that in as well. But for now, until tomorrow, just hang in there. Test now. I've got the microphone on, but there is no red light displaying. Now, I just learned that the red light is when it's recording locally or internally to the transmitter, the 4 gigabytes on board here. And without the red light, just that single blue, you are just transmitting to the device that you're recording on, i.e. in this case my Panasonic camera. So that is what is happening here. So when the blue and light is constant and you have a red flashing underneath, you are sending the signal to the recording device, the camera, and you're also recording locally on to the actual transmitter itself as a secondary backup. And obviously this is just a single blue is just sending it to the transmission to the camera, which can have its downsides, because if there's any wireless interference, you are certainly going to lose that footage, or some of that footage anyway. But while we've got it here, I'm going to now click on the noise cancelling again, and this time we should have, he says confidently, why is it not coming on? Oh, wrong one. That's the one. Okay, so that's the noise cancelling one. You have to press the little yellow button once very quickly, and it brings on that. Now you see that there's a constant blue light underneath the top blue light. Now that second blue light at the bottom there would ordinarily flash if you were recording locally to this transmitter as well. But because I'm not, and it's all been sent to the camera, then you've got two constant blue lights. So let's turn that off and we're back to the normal sound. One thing I forgot to mention also in the review earlier is that you can just about see here, it's actually got a port there, or a plug for a lavalier mic, an external one, so you don't necessarily have to use this mic here. You can plug an external one and put this whole unit away, hidden in your pocket, whatever. I see a lot of people and I'm going to try it now. Hooray. I see a lot of people put this unit underneath their top like this, and the magnet, hooray, there. Okay, so the magnet now you can see is actually well, you can see it's there. It's just a little black dot. If I had something on the Puma that had an eye, that would be the perfect dot. Look at that. It's almost the same font. And this, what you're hearing now, the receiver is underneath this, and it's quite a thick hoodie, really. So if you can hear me okay, because I haven't reviewed the footage yet, but if you can hear me okay, then it's a hidden mic. What you get is that. The only downside is I'm not wholly certain how secure this is. It's fairly tight at the moment, to be honest. And oh, there you go. It's jumped off me. I wouldn't run with it, basically, is what I'm saying. And the receiver's dropped right the way down now. Oh, it's dropped on the floor. So let me get this back. So the problem here is that you run the risk of losing, which thankfully I haven't on this occasion, this little black disc. So you've just got to be mindful of the fact that that is isn't very strong, and potentially you could lose it. Now, I'm sure you could stick another magnet. You can buy these sort of magnets, thin, round, circular disc magnets off Amazon. They're not very expensive. I've not seen them in black. They're normally silver, and they're quite strong magnets, actually. So, and to be honest, I'm not too sure what's magnetic here. Whether it's I haven't tested it, and I haven't got anything around to test it with. Let me just see. No, I tell a lie. I've got something magnetic over there. That is actually magnetic, and so is the disc. So both of these things are magnetic. And one sure way to find out is to push them against each other one way, and if they repel, which they do, you can feel they repel. It's a simple way of finding out if they're both magnetic. So yeah, they are both magnetic. But I suppose through a t-shirt that would in the summer that would hold really well. If you're looking at being on the lapel of a suit, or even like say this hoodie is not exceptionally thick, but it's reasonably thick, it'll hold. But it's certainly, if you go for a run or you start running away from something, you're going to lose either the unit or the magnets. So just something to be mindful of. So anyway, that was just an additional update, really. And by the way, you can also charge these independently, I think, by sticking a port, a USB-C on the side as well. I'm going to test. It's very late at night and I wasn't going to come and do anything, but I thought I would just it just crossed my mind about this blue light and the red light flashing underneath, and whether you needed to have that red light on or whether you could just have the blue light. But what I am going to try is one of these adapters as well tomorrow. I'm going to do the range test, but I'm also going to try one of these adapters. I've got an Android and an iPhone, so I'm going to try, I might try both actually, and just see how they get on, see how well they work. I don't expect any difference. The camera I've got, like I say, is a Panasonic camcorder, and yeah, it does the job very well. So I can't see an iPhone making a vast difference to it. There are some settings within the camera which you can adjust to the sound, because I think I mentioned on the last one here we had this decibel meter, which was just there, and every time I pressed the decibel button, which was there, the sound level went up. Now, at the moment, this mic is on the table a little way away from me, so if the mic is going to be off your person, and maybe you could put this on a pseudo boom or something, put it on a broomstick, sellotape it to a broomstick, or hang it from the ceiling. There you go. Look, if I take it here, just imagine that was out of shot and hanging from the ceiling. This is on maximum 5 now, and obviously you go back down to 1, so that's still at the same distance. There might be settings on the camera which you can adjust as well, but I haven't got into that. I'm literally just adjusting them on this on the receiver, and I think we're up to 2, and like I say, 3 is where I would say the optimum for me personally is. But again, if you alter the settings on the camera, that may have some effect on this too. But anyway, there you go. That's that's it really for the time being. Range test tomorrow, and I'll do it, balance the test against another wireless mic I've got as well, which operates on a different frequency, not the 2.4 gigs. So that should be interesting and give you just an idea whether this fulaim X5 is worth the money. Okay, good afternoon. So we're out in the fields today to do the range test. And that seems to be something everyone is interested in, a range test. Now I was going to do this on my camcorder, but I've come all this way and I forgot the lead to plug it in, so I'm having to do it through my iPhone, which is precariously perched on the tripod leaning against my Panasonic camcorder. So I have no idea whether this is recording, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk off into the distance now and give it some sort of a range test, and I'm also going to turn round at various intervals and see whether it cuts out, which I expect it will after about 6 meters. The minute I turn around it will cut out, but as soon as I get line of sight again it will probably go for a good 200 meters as recommended. But here we go, I'm going to turn around now, start walking and talking, and we'll see where it cuts off. So at the moment I'm guessing it will be clear, and now it should possibly start to break up round about now. If it hasn't already broken up, I have no idea. My thumb will come out to indicate where I'm still talking. So I'm here at the moment and I'm probably about 35 feet away, but I'll carry on walking, and I'll carry on walking backwards this time, so you should be able to still hear me because I'm line of sight. I'm not too sure whether you'll be able to see me, that's the only thing, because I'm vanishing now into the distance. But I'm probably about 100 feet away from the camera, maybe 30 meters, something like that. I'm going to turn around and I dare say distance, but yeah, should be coming back into sound now. Carry on walking. I'm walking backwards, so I'm directly line of sight, so you still should be able to hear me. But like I say, the minute I'm going to spin round now and it should go again, so the audio should go and it should be back in again now. So as soon as we have a line of sight, now I'm probably about 50 meters to 60 meters away from the iPhone now, so you should still be able to hear me. I'm going to carry on walking a little bit more, put my arms out, something to see. I'm not too sure how far you can see me now, but easy 100 meters away now, easy. I'll keep going, not too sure how far I can go, but yeah, this distance, the minute I turn round, but reconnect the minute I face the camera because it's line of sight. And God, I'm getting on for 200 meters easy now. I'm not too sure exactly how far away I am. That's got to be 200 meters, surely. But I'll keep going just to see when it cuts out. And there you go. I'm almost in the distance now. Way. There you go. Okay, that's 200 meters easy. So we'll start walking back. And like I say, it'd be interesting to see exactly how far that has captured the audio, because I'm guessing it would have probably caught it all away all the time I'm facing towards the camera. There is a power line overhead and there's a train in the background, but there's a power line overhead and I'm not too sure that'll have any interference with the signal whatsoever. But yeah, it should work. I've got full faith in the fact that this will have recorded, but it's the first time I've used the adapter to record on the iPhone. Like I say, the original idea was to record directly onto my camcorder, but I've come all this way out only to have forgot the bloody lead. So that brings me down to one downside to this X5, the Fulaim X5, is that although the case thankfully contains the adapters for the iPhone, otherwise I'd been lost, you haven't got room for the accessories like the mic beard or the lead, which I would have used. So that's unfortunate, but hey ho. So I'm not too sure how much of that you'd have seen, but anyway, that is the Fulaim X5 range test. Okay, so what I'm going to swap over to now is the Q-Hot, and I'll give that a quick test range and see how far that goes and how it sounds. Actually, I haven't got the mic beard with me today. I forgot to bring it. Like I say, it's one of the downsides of this. You need a bag to put it all in, really. But I'm going to try the Q-Hot now, and after that, I will try something I've had for a very long time. My battery is running low on the phone now as well. Something I've had for a very long time, and that is the Alvoxcon, I think it is, and that's about a 640 megahertz transmitter. It's a it's a normal microphone anyway, and we'll give that a go as well, see how that sounds. So let's try the Q-Hot. Okay, I've come ill prepared today. It's my battery on my iPhone is running low as well now, and I just hope the phone doesn't fall off this tripod. I think I might have called it a tripod earlier. I'm not too sure. It's a tripod anyway. So here we have the Q-Hot mic, and I'm just going to do the walk again and see how it sounds. And forgive the quality of the video because we're on the front-facing camera of the iPhone 13. So anyway, we're going to give this a bit of a range test now. And I'll do the same. I'll turn around, walk. I haven't got high hopes for the distance on this, but we're going to give it a go. Let's test it. So turn my back towards the camera. It should be working at the moment. Probably have cut out unless I face it. I'm not too sure whether that is working, but I've got my back towards the camera. It's probably about 70 or 80 feet away. Here now, so what's that? Getting on for about 100 meters or so. Yeah, about 100 meters at the moment. But we're about well over the 100-meter mark, I would imagine, at the moment. So yeah. The distance we were before. Well, no, it's like we're at about the same distance. So I'm just measuring it to cut away in the trees. About where I was with the line of sight, complete line of sight. This is where I was roughly with the X5. So it'd be interesting to see. Look at me. Just looking at it, that's 150, 60 meters, maybe been generally 200 meters. So yeah, it's starting to rain now, so I'm going to try and get back to my phone as quick as I can. The fact it's waterproof, I'm not really worried about. It's the equipment, really. But I'm going to give it one last test, and that will be the well, I can do that actually on the camcorder, so that won't be a problem. I've got sufficient battery life in there. But I'll give it one last test, and that'll be the Alvoxcon wireless transmitter. And like I say, that's where the Q-Hot and the X5 work on the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. This other one, the Voxcon, works on the 640 to 650 megahertz. So it'd be interesting to see what the distance, and it certainly won't be as crystal clear because I think it's got a bit more hit connected to it. But anyway, right. So that's it. That's the Q Hot. I'm not too sure how that sounded either. But anyway, it's rainy. My phone's getting wet. I'm getting wet, and I'm going to have to just stop it there for a bit, I think. Okay, it's starting to rain. It started to rain. I'm not going to prolong this, but I've got this other one, which is shady really, but I've got this other transmitter here. And this is the Voxcon, and it comes with a lavalier mic, and it's about the 640 to 650 frequency range. I hope it's receiving on there now. I think I've set it all up right, but just a bit worried that it's raining so much, that's all. I'm just going to go for a walk. What I'll do is I'll put that there, and I'll put this where, to be fair, I'll put this where the other ones would have been, because the transmitters would have been about the same. So the transmitter's about there. It should be on your belt, but we'll go for another walk anyway and see how this sounds. And like I say, I'm not too sure whether this will be any better. I'll give it a go. And we'll give it a go and see what it sounds like. Okay guys, that's my review of the fulaim X5. I hope you enjoyed it. Just consider pressing the like and the subscribe button. It always helps me produce more and more content. But anyway, for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.